So hi, one of the Good Noise podcasts here with WoR. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
All right, so I've been in the band for like about a year and some change since like February. It's like Ben started the band many years ago, and WoR. We at first we wasn't like some acronyms, but it just stuck. We just keep it WoR. You guys can try to figure out what it means. You'll never get it, but you know,
Yeah, we definitely can't tell you, otherwise we got to kill you guys.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
That's
but
not
like after
kill you.
this, can you tell me? All
Yeah,
right.
but yeah. So the band originally started in 2018, and I went the untraditional route of trying to find people on Craigslist to kind of get something going there. And obviously, we had a lot of unreliable people at first, who kind of didn't really fit the mold that we were trying to do. And luckily now over time we've kind of found the guys that I think will continue on with this band. People who are motivated and want to go out and tour and do all that stuff and do this, try to make this a living or a career at least.
Mhm.
So
okay.
All right,
At
that's
least.
Wholesome. So, congrats on your newest release, Prisoners. How do you guys feel about the response to it so far?
I like it. I like. There's been a lot of good feedback. A lot of people getting into it. Um, it's like every day, like somebody has a new favorite track, and it's pretty cool. Like it's one of those like sonically like good albums where like you could just listen to it all the way through, and then like it starts playing all over again, and you just like why not let it rock all over again?
Yeah.
And it has like a little old school element to it. Like a lot of people just like how professional it is.
Mhm.
And we put a lot of time and work into this, and it's been like it took forever. We're just glad to get it off our hands, and we getting a lot of positive feedback, especially with some PR and everything like that. So we feel pretty good about it.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah, is that the feeling all around?
I'm waiting for
Yeah.
the negative comments. That's what I'm really excited for. I can't wait for those to come out.
Yeah, I
It's
think
only been out a week, but it feels like it's been out for a while,
Yeah.
We're getting lots of good feedback from our fans. They're just excited that we finally dropped it. So we delayed it a couple times this year with everything going on.
Yeah.
So, and it's our first album, so it just feels really good to have everything out there for everybody to hear, and they can, cast their own judgments on it. But yeah, everybody has a different favorite song, and we're super excited.
I think it's definitely it's a diverse album. Also, there's not really any two songs that sound similar. Every song is kind of unique in its own right. So I think there's and we kind of take a lot of our different influences and bring them out on this album. So if for metalcore fans or death metal fans or thrash metal fans, that there's a little bit of something for everybody, even punk fans, because we covered an Offspring song. So I think it's definitely diverse work that hopefully people will enjoy. I know we definitely do.
Okay. Bobby, it was funny that you say like they'll listen to it once and then be like, "Fuck it, let me play it again." Because I did the exact same thing today. I listened to it once and I was like, "Well, shit, that was really good. I'm gonna listen to that again."
It's just like, hey, you know what? All that extra energy you take taking it out, or finding another like track to listen to, just let that shit rock again, man. Just play it again.
Yeah. So is there any like backstory behind the album name, or did it just kind of?
I was just trying to like figure out like play on words of like with war, like war sirens, war prisoner, war, like just stuff to do with like war. But then the way that the songs pretty much came together, like it all kind of tell a story, and that's how we kind of wanted to write the album. Like it was a conglomerate of songs, and we weren't thinking about it at the time. It's just how everything just like panned out. Like everything pretty much went towards that that title, like okay, prisoners with caged, sirens, that pent up aggression with kill you, high rates, which means homesick. So it's like it all just fits all under that title, and it just at first there was some people in the band who was like, nah, no, we're not gonna do that, and I was like, yo, like I had to sell the album to everybody, and it worked.
Okay. So, do you think your next projects will have the same kind of theme fitting around war? If you're thinking ahead.
The guys have been writing. I haven't really I've only probably written one actual, like we probably got one actual song
Mm-hmm.
And I think that on the next album, I think instead of like actually having a set content on it, we just want to show how we've grown as a band, and like, you know, just show our musical talents and push ourselves at the same time, with like, you know, and show our audience that, you know, this first one, you know, we did it, you know, we got it out there, but this next one, we want to show how intricate we could actually be, that we're real musicians with this, and this is what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think very early on, like this album is also kind of the product of us not really knowing what we were doing. You know, like we kind of were in a sweaty storage space writing songs in the heat of North Carolina summer. You know, and you know, not knowing what we were doing, and that's kind of the result of this. And it's kind of cool because it has that raw energy. You know, but since then, a lot of us have developed as songwriters, and we've all, you know, grown so much as musicians. So the stuff we're writing now is, you know, 10 times more complex, 10 times more, like the structures are, you know, a lot more complex and stuff like that. So I think we'll just continue to grow as a band and improve as musicians. So the second offering will be better, but I think this is a really good start for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Prisoners just came about at the end. So, you know, we took all the songs as a whole and we thought, you know, what's the overall theme with this album? So we probably won't even have the theme for the next album until it's done. So
Yeah.
we have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be fun.
All right. Oh, it's exciting. So what was your writing process for this album then?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The album was written
like,
before
hey,
I
I
joined.
got this riff, I got this feel. Hey, let's see what we could come up with. It wasn't really an actual. I think towards the end of writing the album is when we were like, hey, you know, like, okay, let's actually write these songs. And then, you know, but in the beginning, we were just like, all right, cool. We just grab tracks. There was like a lot of other tracks that didn't make the album, and there were some tracks that almost didn't make the album.
Oh.
But there wasn't really a structure here. We were just like, you know what? Let's just polish these up. Let's go into the studio. Let's do it. Because we would have sounded it too long, it probably would have never got released.
Yeah, we definitely like test drove the songs live a bunch before we even went into the studio. So we were playing live, and you know, we kind of like try to figure out, you know, this song is kind of dragging when we play live. It's not really, maybe we should bump up this tempo. Or we had this other song, actually, if you guys listen to the album Predator, it used to have this really slow and boring riff that we really hated. So, you know, in pre-production, we're like, you know, we don't even want to really put this song in the album. But then we kind of changed up the riff. It made it more up-tempo and in your face, how it is now. And it, you know, actually ended up being our first single that we dropped. So, yeah, I think, you know, for us, it was just, you know, experimentation, and then seeing
a lot of changes in the studio as well. So, you know, we'd come in with an idea, and then even after tracking the drums, we would change, you know, how the guitar sounded, or, you know, what we were playing at different times. So there's a lot of adjustments in the studio once we, you know, got in there and saw, you know, how professional it was and how they did things. You know, we decided to change some things up.
Okay.
Yeah. So on this album, what song took the longest to write?
Caged?
No, I wrote that in one day.
No.
Damn.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, no, I think
Predator, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we actually had that song before we had all the other songs, and then we were like, scratch that, and they were like, now I had to rewrite it.
Yep, in the studio.
Written it, yeah, in the studio. So I would say that took the longest. I'll probably say Sirens, man.
Yeah, that I mean, that we did have a lot of. We had different versions of Sirens too, you know. So like, generally, I'll write this like demo, and it'll be, most of the time it'll be a full song structured out, kind of, you know. I'll have stuff that I kind of see as the verse and the chorus and breakdowns and stuff like that. And then we'll kind of pick it apart and be like, well, you know, this intro here. So then the intro was written after we wrote that demo, and then we kind of restructured it again and wrote that whole middle section that's kind of with David's solo on there now. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is with most of the songs. I mean, rarely do we write a song that's like, you know, here's the demo, and then everyone's like, yes, you know, we're going to keep it like this. So, you know, it's just, but yeah, I think Sirens, Predator.
Yeah. And then David joined the band, during the end of the album. So all the solos he played, he wrote them towards the end of the album, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
Which was a good surprise for us,
Yeah.
It was a present for us, to ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sick. All right. So where was your headspace while making the album?
Well, lyrically,
mm-hmm.
what I like to do is I like to push the grain. I like to choose like controversial topics and one, see how much I can get away with. And at the same time, I want to make people think, like, okay, you can't really, understand most of it unless you're really into this genre. And we also put the lyrics in the book for our hard copy album, so you actually see what it is.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is I like to make it a talking topic, like makes people think and make people talk about it. Because I like to bring awareness to certain things. And if we're not talking about it, then it's like, all right, cool, you're gonna hear it, especially from us.
Mm-hmm.
That's my writing process. So that's where my headspace is. Whereas how I write lyrics is to be like, what is people going to be talking about this, and how is it going to make people think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not trying to write music, elevator music, background music. We're trying to write lyrics, or I think Bobby tries to write lyrics that makes people kind of think about, what's going on in the world today, because there is a lot of stuff going on that people feel uncomfortable talking about because it is uncomfortable. But I feel like, and I think we feel like these are issues that need to be kind of brought up. Otherwise, there's never going to be any kind of change. I think Sirens is the perfect example of that. It kind of focuses on police brutality, which is a big issue going on right now, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So what band influences do you think you can hear the most on this new record?
It switches up every time for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear a little bit of, Sepultura, a little bit in there. I hear a little bit of, what else can I say? Gojira. Every song is so different. It takes different bits of all of our influences and backgrounds. It's just, it always switches up. And every time somebody comes up to me and say, hey man, it reminds me of this, it's always a different band, which I like because it's not like we fall in a certain category of who we sound like.
Yeah.
So it's all right, cool. Because we don't want to sound like nobody but ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But of course, there's nothing new under the sun. Where everybody's influenced by somebody or something. But we want to, of course, we pay tribute to our influences. But I think that this album once the second album comes out, I think people will actually start to realize, okay, this is their sound. This is what they sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of old school influences. Even listening back to the album a few times, I'll be like, okay, this intro to Freedom Suicide kind of sounds like one of those old school Slayer intros that kind of build up, and it's just stuff you didn't even realize. And then later on, it's like, okay, it sounds like this. Now, obviously, there's some punk influence. But yeah, I think it's just all over the board.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think everybody in the band's got a lot of influences. And we've talked about this in other interviews. Bobby had a rap career before becoming the vocalist of our band. So he's got a lot of, hip hop and rap influences. And Phil was in a punk band, playing, various punk bands in North Carolina. And, Hunter's a thrash guy, you know what I mean? And so we all like different styles of music. And I think all those little, different styles kind of show on this album in some way, shape, or form at one point or another.
Okay. Wow. It's wonderful. So is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while going through the album?
Not consciously. Is there? I mean, for you guys.
I want them to, it's some form of when you listen to music, there's always some form of release.
Yeah.
And I would want, whether you're angry, sad, even happy, or if you just want to, get a good head banging out, it's energy. We want you to be able to utilize your energy, of course, in a positive way. But at the same time, like I said, we try to go into depth with these world problems. We also want to make you think. We also want to make it a conscious decision to listen to our album, not just when you listen to it, it's just something that you can just listen to as background music. You can, but also it's is bigger than that. And we want, what I expect people to feel, and I can't wait for these live shows again, is to have a good time, embrace it, and know that we're here to let you exert your energy, do what you got to do to let that out, and it's a release. That's all I want people to take from it, is for it to be a release.
Yeah, I think upon the first listen to a lot of the songs, you're like, okay, this is like heavy. This is like, I can feel this music. And then as you listen to the songs more and more, you can, sort of hear what Bobby's trying to say, and then kind of see how the music interacts with what he's saying. So, we'll change songs later on to, depending on what Bobby writes about, which we never have any idea what he's going to write about. And we'll change stuff up. So yeah, once you listen to it a few times, it kind of all comes together. We just want people to, think those kind of complex things as they listen more and more, and when it comes out live, it'll just be that more epic.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you guys choose the opener and closer for the album? Did it happen that way? Were they written that way?
Well, so Kill You was actually the first song we wrote as a band, and it just kind of punches you in the mouth right from the get-go, and I think that's kind of what we were going for with that one. It just starts off and it's a fast thrash song, and then it's got a nice little bit. But that's a good song to put there. We won't make it a single. It'll just be like a pleasant little surprise for people when it actually does come out. And then after that, we kind of just, try to figure out what flows nice and how the album will flow nice. There wasn't really any specific order that we just knew Kill You's going first, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I know like one of the processes of putting it all together was we kind of wanted to make it like a roller coaster ride, like we wanted to, like, of course, draw you in. And then once we got you there, you could coast a little bit. Then you go ahead and elevate up, and you get that drop. Once you get to that drop, it's just smooth sailing to the end of the album. And if you want to go ahead and ride it again, like you did, Shane, you just go ahead and just stay there. Don't even get out. Just keep riding, baby.
Yeah. And the last song, Freedom Suicide, just has this like epic build. It's like, you've been waiting the whole entire album, and there's another epic build, and then it just hits really hard, and the message is like super intense. It's kind of one of our more simple songs, but I love that song as a closer just because it's so heavy. And when that song turns off, you're like, damn, okay. And then if the album starts cycling through again, then Kill You just hits you right again.
Right
so,
back.
It's beautiful. Yep.
Cool. So what would you guys do differently on your next release that you didn't get to do on this one?
Longer songs.
Okay. All right.
30-minute tracks, every song now.
30-minute track?
Going Tool over here.
Oh, I thought I was going to say Green Day. Going Green Day over here.
Not too long. What I want to do is because this album was, our debut album was a little short. It wasn't like that long. I want to make this one a little bit longer. I want like there's so much to write. There's so much to say. There's also like how we've grown from our last album. There's so much to show and prove. So it's like we can't do it on every song, but we just wanted. I wanted to make it like just a little bit longer.
Okay.
I mean, and that's Bobby's thought process. I completely disagree. I think people's attention spans are way shorter now. So I think 37 minutes, that's pretty solid for an album. But
yeah, am I allowed to disagree with Bobby too?
Yeah.
I like 9-minute songs. I'm going to be honest.
Bobby, we all disagree with you, man.
Yeah, Bobby, please don't go the Tool route.
Oh no.
I can't play the instrument, so it won't be me. It'll be up to them, I wait till they finish writing everything, and then I'll put pen to paper.
Yeah. You can have a side project that's spoken word album. 15-minute songs. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just want to do a lot of the work. Obviously, there'll be a lot of work in the studio, but I'm enjoying right now how much work we're putting in before the studio, and now like we have our setups at home, so we can work on tracks back and forth even before we get to the studio, and that allows us to like spend time, put some complexity into the songs, and I'll think a song sounds great, and then a day later Ben will change the whole thing up. It still sounds great, but that's just a process.
Yeah.
I think the studio was kind of a wake up call for us, because
absolutely.
prior to going into the studio, we were playing, in the practice space and live. It's really loud in there, and you don't really hear all the fine little details in there. But when you put it under a microscope in the studio, you kind of see like, oh, you know what, this isn't working. We got to change this. So I think if anything, we know what to expect next time. And how to better prepare going into the studio. And I also think we kind of know what we want our sound to sound like. I think we know how to dial in our amps a little bit better. I think we know how to, play our instruments a little bit better. And I think it's just we're becoming more seasoned at what we're doing. So I think it'll be smoother, and we can really just focus on writing the best songs that we possibly could next time around.
Yeah. Okay. So what are your top 3 songs you're looking forward to playing live off of this album?
Top 3 for this one, I would have to say, me personally, my top 3 is Predator, Sirens, and Six Kings. Those are like my top 3, which pretty much almost fits in all the singles, except for Caged, where that was a really good single as well. But it's just the way that those like all, like the way that I wrote those and how it just flows. To me, like those 3 songs, those are my top 3, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, Kill You is a lot of fun to play live. It's and then I really enjoy Freedom Suicide because it has a bass solo. And I like playing the cover song too because people will know the lyrics now, but before it was like a nice song for them because they could sing along.
Brings them back.
I'm not gonna pick any. I'm just ready to play. I'm ready to play.
Yeah, any song.
I'm patiently waiting for the pandemic to conclude. So that we can go back. But I do really enjoy ending Vikings or Six Kings, whatever you guys call it. It's just kind of epic, I think it's a good way to end the set. But all of them for real.
Okay.
Solid. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
Working on our 3rd or 4th album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of albums, Bobby.
Yeah, it is.
He's got a vision, bro.
I used to be a hip hop artist, man. It had to be an album a year, man. I used to come out with this consistency. I mean, shows is a must. So without that, I mean, it's like, we really can't push it or sell it the way that we want to. But I mean, right now, we're already in the process of writing the 2nd album, and we're just pushing out this 1st one. So
yeah.
I think that in 5 years, I think we'll be on our 3rd or 4th.
Wow.
We do it right.
Jeez.
Go on tour, come home, bang, write another one. Go on tour.
Maybe our 3rd,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Kind of hard to fit 4 album cycles in there in 5 years.
Especially like 15-minute tracks, we probably won't do.
We'll be touring for like at least half the year, so the writing time will be harder. So that's where I see it. Just a lot of touring.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we actually have a lot of tours booked already, and we had a lot of tours booked for the back end of 2020, and obviously everything kind of got postponed with that to next year. So maybe we'll be making some tour announcements here shortly, but until then, we're just hanging out writing new songs. So.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
All right.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
All right. If I was, I would need a 22-ounce ribeye, cooked medium, with some asparagus, some rice, some bread, and I'm going to need at least like 3 or 4 doubles of like bourbon. I'm gonna go out, I don't want to go out like obliterated. Yeah. And that'll be it. And corn.
Solid.
On corn because I want to shit all over the place. It's gonna kill me.
Okay.
Then you want me to go? All right. So this is easy for me because I developed this weird allergy where I'm allergic to any kind of mammal and all milk. So if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna eat a giant steak and then just die because of eating the giant steak,
Oh my
and
God.
eat a giant piece of pizza with cheese and pepperoni on it. This is stuff I haven't eaten in like over a year, so
You'll beat him
real
to it,
simple.
man.
Huh?
You'll beat him to it.
Yeah, and then just like a whole fifth of some really good whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. See, Ben.
I don't know. Should I get some like boiled wings? What do you guys think?
Boil. Oh.
No.
Yeah, boiled wings. There you go.
That's a funny
It's a new
story.
one.
We had a Super Bowl party over at my house, and I cooked some hot wings, and I baked them, and then I was gonna put them in the hot sauce, but I was like, well, we don't want to put it in room temperature hot sauce. We want it to be piping hot when it comes. So I boiled the sauce and threw the wings in, and I boiled them, and they were disgusting. They were all slimy and gross. But maybe I'd have that as the last meal to kind of just
Oh.
sentimental. Remember the good times.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm on death row though,
But
like
use the chefs. That's for damn sure.
right? Yeah, they're like, why would he want to?
What is the point? We're
Do
doing
you
some.
have a drink?
No.
Diet Coke all day, baby.
Diet Coke. All right. Solid.
You got one right there. Yeah.
So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Damn, that's a good question.
So,
So many. There's so many fictional worlds out there.
Definitely not in space.
Yeah. You said not in space. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go with like the first that came to my mind, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, solid.
Like Game
Oh,
of
wow.
Thrones. That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Whatever world they're living in.
Wait, what house family are you in for Game of Thrones?
I'd probably be a Lannister. The
Solid.
one with hair, right?
Mm-hmm. Taste.
Slytherin for me.
Slytherin. All right.
Yeah.
Solid.
I would live in Middle Earth.
God, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's where I would live with our guitarist David Nissoff, and just watch him geek out over everything that we see.
Living in Middle Earth and watching Lord of the Rings every night. Like, see?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right there.
All right. So I have the honor of asking the last question, and everyone we've spoken to says the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Yellow,
Oh,
Thank you. Finally.
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Red.
oh.
Red. Solid.
So it's only, NC State colors,
Mhm.
Bill, didn't you go to NC State too? But yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Solid.
And we're waiting on Bobby here.
I saw there's like animals and
Where's he
jumping
running?
all over and some kind of alarm going off.
He's running upstairs.
I think Bobby's favorite color will be
I'm gonna say
something
green.
weird. Yeah, something weird.
Oh, she got it right.
Oh, let's go.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry,
Let's go.
I had to change up the scenery because my background was a little bit too
Oh, it's all good.
okay.
crazy. Yeah, it definitely is green. You got that right.
That's
Let's
a
Yeah.
go.
weird color. That's a weird color.
That's weird.
Like unexpected. Yeah.
Is it that weird? On the album, you was like, "What is it missing?" And what did I say? Green.
Green, yeah. The baby has a green diaper on.
And they gave the baby green.
All right.
Yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Well, let me ask you guys this: what's your favorite song on the album?
Oh shit!
I liked the first one. What is it called? The
Kill you.
Kill You.
Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Because
I-
it really hit me in the face, and I was like, okay, so this is the album. So I really like that one.
Yeah, she's
right now.
she's not one for metal. I liked Sirens a lot,
Yeah.
but also Kill You and Freedom. What was it? Freedom. Freedom Suicide. Yeah.
Yes.
Sandwich. You pretty much like the whole sandwich. Like the top, the bottom, and the middle. Nice.
Yeah. Although I like the entire album, and I'm gonna go listen to it again after I finish the things I have to listen to.
There you go.
Definitely appreciate that. I mean, if we had to plug in anything, definitely be us.
Yeah.
Definitely, everybody go check out our website, warband.com, WORBAND.com. All of our merch is up there, videos, shows, links to everything, the streaming websites that we're on. articles, anything that you need to know about the band is definitely on there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're all over the place. We're not hiding. We're not hard to find. Before, yeah, now not so much. So definitely check us out. Listen to the album. We like constructive criticism. You know, iron sharpens iron. So just let us know what you would think we need to work on, or what would you like to hear from us. We might listen, we might not. But
yeah, people have told us we should sing like clean vocals. I'm not
doing that.
We tell them no, we can't sing.
No clean vocals. All right.
No clean vocals. All right.
Clean vocals. I'm talking, and if I'm talking, then you really need to hear it. But yeah, like, you know, that's, you know, definitely, yeah. If you haven't heard the album, and Glory, give it one more listen. Like, look at the words. Like, try to like listen to the words, and you'll probably be like, oh, okay.
Okay, I get it. All right, sure.
All right.
Wait. Do you take cover suggestions?
No.
Right.
It's already hard enough for Come Out to Play to come out to come on the album and actually to play that, because some of the members in the band do not like that song.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
You can tell us your suggestion. That'd be fun.
Yeah, what do you suggest?
All right, so there's this song that I think would be great as like a rock or like a metal, just like anything of what it is now. It's a One Direction song, but it's the wrong genre, how it is. It's Never Enough, and I think it would be great as like just literally anything else. Like if they took it a different direction, it would be perfect. But
if
yeah.
One Direction didn't take
in
it,
a different direction.
Maybe we'll start a like a covers band and call it A Different Direction and just cover One Direction.
a different direction.
I'm down. I'm in.
Bro,
Songs.
All right. Well,
Alright, solid.
I think that's where we'll leave it. New band.
You down?
So,
Check out A Different Direction next week. We got the album coming out, guys.
all right.
No, let's go.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us, guys. This has been WoR, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.